Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel again. So today we are going to see one of the very interesting topic, that is how Terraform init works. Okay, so if you are really liking a Terraform and if you are already working in Terraform, okay, so this video is going to be very interesting video for you. Okay, so today we are going to see what is Terraform init and how it's going to be working and what happens when the Terraform init command has been um, typed and entered. So what's happening in the background. Okay, let's see all these things today. So first of all, we see what is Terraform init. So Terraform init is used to initialize the working directory and downloads the necessary provider plugins and modules and setting up backend for storing your infrastructure states. Okay, so without having a Terraform init and Terraform, the plugins, so Terraform will not work as a, all the other commands, Terraform plan and Terraform apply, all these commands will not work, right? So basically Terraform init is the major, very important command that will be initializing, all your configurations, whatever is there in your Terraform. um, so then it will download the plugins. Okay, so we are going to see all these things in action. Okay, so for now, so today I'm going to see kind of a Terraform code, so we already seen this code in the previous session. Okay, so now as you can see here, right, so I don't have any kind of a Terraform folders and files over here. So now what I do is I just do ls. Okay, so ls hyphen ls hyphen al. So there is no much of the files here. Okay, so there's only one thing. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do kind of a Terraform, you know, initializing. Okay, so what happens here is that, so this is the Terraform configuration, and then it has a required providers. Okay, so required providers is the you know is the block where you will include all the uh, Azure RM, AWS, and GCP. If you're using whichever the cloud you're using, you have to mention that which provider version and which source you're going to use it. Okay, so this is kind of a basic configuration for your Terraform providers. So we are going to see what happens when the Terraform init works. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see here, like what happens when you do Terraform init here. So I'm going to type Terraform and init. Okay, as you can see, there is no files and folders are available over here. Okay, what happens when you do Terraform init? So whenever you do Terraform init, it's going and installing that Archicop Azure RM, version 3.0.2. As you can see here, we have downloaded two, one folder and one file. So there are two files will be created. So one folder and then another one file. So what is this log.html file? So log.html file will have a keep track of all the configurations, so during the Terraform init is being issued. Okay, so for example, whatever the configuration files, so whatever the configuration you are mentioning, that version is going to be 3.0.2 and then the source is going to be Archicop Azure RM. So it's going to mention, it's going to have all the informations like, what is Azure RM and then what is the versions, version constraints, and everything will be available over here. Okay, so it has the hashes. What is hashes? Which means that, so for each and every versions, it will create some kind of hashes that can not be changed. Okay, so that's not very much important, right? But we see that version is going to be 3.0.2 is what is been downloaded from Archicop Azure RM. So from where it is got downloaded? So whenever you do Terraform init, okay, so it's go all the way back to your Terraform registry. Okay, so if you can do Terraform registry, if you can do a browse providers, okay, you can see like Azure or Azure, AWS, and Glue Cloud, all these things are there. Okay, if you can go Azure and you can see this, the version has been copied. So the package has been copied from this particular Azure RM provider. Okay, so from this is the place where it has got downloaded. Okay, so now I have installed this one, right? So what happens when you installed? So if you can see here, if you can do ls-al, so we have one more .terraform folder is created. Okay, so .terraform folder is what over here, looking over here. So now if you can do cd inside .terraform, okay, and you can see one more folder called providers, and then again registry.terraform.io, and then Archicop, then Azure RM. Okay, so then the version 3.0.2, whatever the version we mentioned over here. Okay, so 3.0.2, and then the Darwin AMD 64, the architecture of your system, So then, as you can see here, there is one more package has been downloaded. Okay, just to download this package, so Terraform has done all these things. Okay, so Terraform has been created all these kind of a folders, all these kind of a folders like inside Terraform, Terraform providers, registry, all these things, right? So finally, it's got downloaded this particular package. Okay, so now using this package, Terraform will assume that so we are going to use all the features whatever has been mentioned in this in this version number. Then based on this is go and pick up all the features available in this providers. Okay, so in this providers version is going in picking all the features available in this provider versions. Okay, so this is how it works. So now I'm going back again. Okay, so now I'm going back again to the providers. Okay, so now I'm in this directory, right? So now what happens if I do Terraform init again? So if I do Terraform init again, it's not going to do anything because that is just reusing the previous version of the Archicop Terraform, the dependency log file. So we already have this log file, because it's nothing has been changed here. It's going to use the same log file and it's going to use the same Azure RM, the version. Okay, so everything looks good, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the version number of it. Okay, now I'm going to comment out this version. So what happens now? So eventually, when I commented out this version number, then it should download, the Terraform should download the latest version of, the Azure RM provider should download. Okay, so now let's see if it's working fine or not. Now I'm going to do Terraform init. Okay, so now it's simply telling that, so reusing a previous version of the Terraform dependency log file and then previously installed Azure RM version 3.0.2. Okay, so the reason being, so even though we have not mentioned any kind of a Terraform version, you should download the latest version. What's the latest version? Is this one 4.1.0? Okay, but it is not seems to be downloading the latest version. The reason why is that how Terraform init work is that whenever you wanted to do some kind of a configuration changes on Terraform providers, okay, so you have to do a Terraform init. You need to do -- upgrade. Okay, so this is the place where the Terraform upgrade will be taking in place. If you can see here, now this configuration is having the 3.0.2. Okay, and now so as you can see here, immediately this 4. Is just been changed to 4.1.0 because it's downloaded the latest version of 4.1.0 of the package. Then it's updated this log file to 4.1.0. Now if you can go back and see this folder, okay, so here inside here again, right, there's a two folders been created. One is 3.0.2, another one is 4.1.0. So previously I've seen inside this folder we have this provider zip file is available, but inside this 4.1.0 still we have this 4.1.0 x5 packages available over here also. Okay, so now even though we have two versions, so which version is going to pick up? Which version Terraform will be picking up? Well, so the Terraform will be picking up the version whatever we have mentioned in Terraform SCL log file. Okay, so because it has been already been updated, so this is the dependency file for this Terraform init. Every time whenever you are doing any kind of Terraform init or anything, then it's going to be using the same thing. So it's all good. Okay, now if I do Terraform init again, okay, there is no changes. Okay, so Terraform 4.1.0 is intact. Okay, now let's do downgrade. Okay, let's see what happens when you do a Terraform downgrade of the version. Okay, I'm going to do a Terraform. I'm going to downgrade to the version number 4.0.0. Okay, so now we have 4.1.0. I'm going to downgrade it to 4.0.0. Okay, I'm going to enable the version constraint again now, and then I'm going to give 4.0.0. So now what happens when you do Terraform init again? Okay, so it's just telling me that failed to query a available provider package. Okay, because could not retrieve the list of available package version provider logged. Okay, so logged provider version 2 4.1.0 doesn't matches with the configuration version constraint 4.0.0. Okay, so now what happens whenever we are trying to downgrade Okay, it is telling me that, so there is something mismatch is happening over here. So please go and do a upgrade again. Okay, so you can just guess now, right? Like, so do we need to do downgrade or upgrade? Okay, so that's going to be a good question. So whenever there is some changes in the configuration, Terraform providers configuration, you have to do upgrade only. Okay, now I'm doing upgrade, and as you can see here, we have a 4.1.0 and 3.0.2. Now what happens to these folders when I do init upgrade? Okay, as you can see, the log file has been 1.4.1.0 is the dependency log file. Okay, now as you can see here, the 4.0.0 is been downloaded. Package is downloaded. Okay, so this is how the Terraform init works, guys, right? So now you see, so 4.0.0 has been changed, right? So whenever you are just creating some kind of a configuration files, whenever you are just doing a creating configuration files, it's going to be using the the latest Terraform configuration files, and then it will be, like, so whatever the configuration file is being mentioned over here is going to use the same thing. Okay, so this is how Terraform provider works. And also, if you want to use Azure AWS also, for example, I'm just going and changing this configuration file to AWS. Okay, AWS, and then you do AWS here. Now I want to check whether this version is available for AWS or not. Okay, otherwise I'm doing like comment out this version. So I'll just let the AWS to do take a I wanted to take AWS to pick up the latest version of it. So now if you can go back here and then go back to this folder and then go back to AWS. As you can see here, the latest version of it is going to be 5.666.0. Okay, so now without any doubts, like, it is going to be downloading AWS and 5.66.0. So okay, now it's initialized, right? So now what happens? As you can see here, it's got AWS is not downloading. Now what happens? Now what happens whenever you're doing? Okay, so now what happens whenever you're just doing this one? So what happened to the log file? If you do log file, you have a AWS 5.6.6.0, and then you'll be having one more entry called Azure RM. Okay, you also will be having the same kind of provider configurations. Okay, so now you'll be having all the versions intact, but whatever the versions has been available in this Terraform providers Terraform SC log file, those versions are going to be using for your the implementation of your code. Okay, so this is how Terraform init works. So I hope this video helpful for you. So in the next video we are going to see what is the version constraints. Okay, so how the different versions will be constrained, and how is going to be used to get the latest versions or latest or older versions of the Terraform providers. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Okay, so hope you like this video. So if you have any questions, please call us on this number if you want to enroll for any courses or anything. Okay, so thank you so much and see you in the next video.